Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm Malicious Female Fan Steve Malicious here with a first look and also my last look at my iPhone XS. It is now iPhone season, so this one is going back in favor of the iPhone 12 Pro, which we'll have hopefully later in the week, if not early next week, here on the channel. But I wanted to go over my iPhone XS because it got me thinking a lot about how Apple does business with their phones and how they compete with the other Android makers and what they do with their handsets. So, first off, by the way, thank you so much to all the new subscribers, up over 2,050. It seems like it was probably literally 3 or 4 weeks ago we were just getting past 1,000. Now we're up over 2,000 and hopefully marching onward from there. So if you're enjoying the iPhone videos, the full 2 videos, we got another one of those coming later in the week, whether it's technology, whatever it is, go ahead and give that subscribe button a tussle. It certainly means a lot to me. So, the iPhone XS. I could do a full review on it, but it would probably be the most boring review in history. It does things well. It has absolutely nothing spectacular about it, but that's okay. It was almost the forgotten release. In fact, that might be in the title of the video. You had the iPhone X, which at least in iPhone world, which I understand is different from Android world, and you're all chuckling, was a bit of a step up. We had the OLED display, we got rid of the home button and those gigantic bezels and whatever else, and we got a relatively modern design for 2017. We got a decent camera as well. But then the next year, something they've done for years anyway, you just get a small iterative upgrade. You got a better processor, which every year they go over the processors, and I understand, and they're all fantastic, and every year they put all this science and 11.8 billion transistors, everybody, this year in the A14, and they're great, and they're fast, and they last forever. But at the end of the day, that potato that you strung electricity through or you got energy out of in your 8th grade science project can run iOS. And that's to their credit. Nobody's blaming them for that. But when you start to get the chip technology and all the rest of it and the speeds of iPhone, it boggles the mind how part of it is support, part of it is the fact that the iOS is lightweight to begin with, and that they keep the hardware relatively up to spec. This is a premium device. And it really got my wheels in my brain turning. Because you look at other Android devices and you say, okay, what's their business model? Well, what do? They pack everything into the phone, right? We're just going to pack whatever we can, at least Samsung, Google. Samsung, we're going to pack everything into the device. We're going to charge a lot of money. It's going to be premium. We're going to have top specs, top features, everything that we could possibly get into the thing, we're going to put in it. But what happens a year, 18 months, 2 years down the line? Lag City, right? Doesn't work right. Not as fast anymore. It's just gummed up. The works are gummed up. And you can't quite explain it. But for whatever reason, it doesn't work as well as it did day one as far as being snappy and the performance. So what do? You upgrade, okay? That's how they get you into the upgrade cycle. And for iPhone, this might be obvious to a lot of people, but it's just something that really dawned on me because it's something they've done for years. But in putting it in this perspective, I really never understood it. When the iPhone 11 was rumored, it was an idea, big discussion, that the iPhone 11 was going to get the squared off edges like the iPhone 4, like the iPhone 5. That was going to be the refresh, but we didn't get that. In fact, that's why I don't have an iPhone 11. Yes, the camera, massively upgraded, but I didn't see a huge jump performance-wise, feature-wise, besides the ultra-wide lens, to go from an iPhone 10, which I had at the time, to an 11. So I went to a XS, and guess what? My performance was fantastic for the past year and a half. Not a problem. I didn't notice any gap. I didn't say, geez, I really wish I would have went for the 11. But I'm like, at the same time, if you had done that on an Android phone, you'd be struggling right now. You'd be looking like, oh, starting to get that slowdown, not running things as well as they did. I really need to look for an upgrade. So how do they get going? Well, exactly what I just said. The iPhone 11 didn't have the refresh. Had the extra camera. Okay? Now when you get to the iPhone 12, and I was talking in my last video, it was a really curious decision not to put 120 hertz in the Pro Max model. Because they had room to squeeze the battery in there. It's a bigger display, bigger form factor, premium. They could have done it. But they didn't. They intentionally held it back. Why? Because the iPhone 13, which I doubt they'll call it, whatever the next iteration of iPhone is, they need you to give you a reason to buy it. Because if they don't hold back these features from you and kind of trickle them out one at a time, there'd be really no reason to upgrade these on a year or even 2-year basis. So in a way, they're kind of victims of their own success, but they make a conscious decision there. They said, look, you can't have it both ways, okay, because we'll get killed in the marketplace. You're either going to have it where we're going to support these phones for 4, 5, 6 years and have them run well on new software, or you can pack it with every single feature ever and have it slow down and have that be the reason why you upgrade. So you get a choice. It's kind of a depressing choice because you can't have it both ways, but you either have the Android phones led by Samsung. So listen, we're going to charge you a lot of money. We're going to put everything in up front. But guess what? In a year or two, you're going to need an upgrade. Or you got iPhone, where you can say you come to our ecosystem. You could be using an iPhone 7 right now and be getting roughly the same experience as people on an iPhone XS or an iPhone 11, with the exception of the cameras and the little things that we trickle out. But I get an iPhone 12 this year because I wanted the redesign. I'll enjoy the wide-angle lens. But now next year, I wouldn't need to upgrade. Performance will still be excellent. Everything runs smoothly on iPhone. In fact, there's still to this day, you're looking at Instagram, you're looking at Twitter, things just run better on the iPhone. And I use both, and I can be objective. I don't have a dog here that I could pick out and say, you know what, I'm definitely an iPhone person. I use them all. And I can tell you, there are things that run better inherently, just all the time, every year on iPhone rather than Android devices. So you could sit there and say, iPhone 12, I don't need to upgrade to the 13. But then you're going to say, wait a minute, that 120 hertz display, I want to catch up with everybody on Android and have that big, beautiful display. So it basically brings me to the question, which do you prefer? That's a decision you have to make as a consumer. Do you want something that you're going to have to upgrade from a performance standpoint every couple of years? Or do you want something that's going to last you the 4 and 5 years, which is why the iPhones are so popular, but you're going to be missing out on those features unless you upgrade every single year? It's interesting for sure. It's different. It's different. And I think that's why you see so many iPhones in the marketplace and why iPhone is so popular. Because beside people who are just like us, that want the latest and greatest features and want to upgrade every year because we're just interested in the tech, there's a whole bunch of people, the majority of people, they still walking around with their cracked iPhone 6S. They don't care. They don't care. They just want it to work and not have to buy a new phone every year or two. And so you look at that business model and you get it. But at the same time, like we talked about in the iPhone 12 video, it is frustrating not to get the latest and greatest every single year on the platform of your choice. But overall, listen, if you're not interested in either of those, if you're one of those people walking around with your 6S, I'll include the link down in the description. You can get these Amazon renewed, relatively inexpensive. Premium build, nice glass finish, all the rest of it. OLED display, decent camera still, and all the rest of it. And it's going to be supported. The 10S, forget it. Probably be supported 4 or 5 years down the line and run just as well as it does today. No slowdown. Everything works on it. The only thing that I wish they would change, and I'm hoping that they change for the iPhone 12, is the screen. And I'm not talking about the actual display. I'm talking about the glass. They said they work with Corning. They said they didn't even want to call it glass. Whatever. Stop it with the micro scratches. This thing, you put this thing in your pocket for an hour with iPhones, and you know, every time you get a new iPhone, every year you put it in your pocket, 2 hours maximum, you're going to have micro scratches on there. All scuffed up. This one is destroyed on the front, and it's terrible to look at. You don't notice when it's on, but it's annoying to look at it when it's off. Unless you're a person who uses the screen protector. I don't like the screen protectors. I want my display to be able to be used without scratching in 30 seconds. Other people use it. Hopefully this ceramic shield is something that does that as well. So let me know what you prefer. You prefer the Android model? Just give me everything now. I'll deal with the slowdowns later. Or are you okay with getting the things piecemeal, one feature at a time, but knowing that 4 and 5 years later, your phone's still going to be snappy and running well? If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-alicious day.